What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I made a song with this really grungy Nirvana-esque feel with very little instruments, just me, my laptop, my microphone, and my guitar. No amps, nothing crazy at all, no drum set, pretty much bedroom stuff. And yeah, I think it turned out pretty good, so I'm going to show you guys how I did it. Alright, so let's start with these guitars here. Now, a big part of Nirvana's guitar sound is layering guitars. Just like how people layer vocals when you want to have a big, wide vocal sound, you do the same thing with the guitars. And this will make a huge difference. So let's look at the chain on what I got in the guitars here. Let's start with these two guitars. Now these are really simple chords. It's I believe that's just 3 power chords, yeah, super simple melody, something you can play with not a lot of experience. It's nothing too crazy. The chain on these is I'm using amplitude, literally just the default kind of Marshall amp, and then I've got 2 plugins, which is this distortion plugin and this flanger plugin. Um, Now, this DS1, I know for a fact, was what Kurt Cobain used for a lot of stuff, live performances, and I think they even used it on the Nevermind album. I don't know why I was too lazy to plug this in, but I just ended up using the one that's on Amplitude. Um, it sounds pretty good. So pretty much any distortion plugin will do, and I have this distortion's up pretty high, and the flanger goes right after it. We know how that sounds. Now the second thing I got here is this. Now the second guitar I've got here. Now I've got those guitars panned out, one all the way to the left, one all the way to the right, and then I've got a third guitar which I put in the middle here. This is what it sounds like solo. Now this one's a little bit of a different amp, just for a different texture. And as you can see here, the main difference on the distortion, at least, is the tone is a lot higher. It's affecting more of the higher frequencies on the guitar, and they blend really nicely together. Here's how they sound, all three. Now, last thing I did was I have these guitars. I think that this is the exact same chain as the first chain we used, and I just kind of have these stabs just to accentuate the the ending of that phrase where it goes dun, 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 dun. I just wanted that to make it even a little bit bigger. All right, and then the last thing which really ties it together is this bass, and this is how it sounds. And that here I just put an overdrive, and I have a bass amp. Overdrive is it's nothing, not doing anything pretty crazy. The tone is kind of rolled off, so it's a little bit more deeper. And here's how all these sound together. This is where it starts to come together, really. Awesome. All right. On that, I've also got this track spacer, which is side chained to my kick, and that's what gives it this pulsating effect. So when the kick hits, this the bass is kind of ducking out of the way to make room for that kick. Um, and it's a really common technique used in modern production. I don't know how much they used it in the '90s, but um, the way I do it is just with this plugin called Track Spacer, and it makes it super simple. It's a couple clicks only. All you need to do is literally put Track Spacer on your bass, and then press the side chain and find your kick. So you can just hear how it's ducking out of the way. So here's without it. Wait. Pretty nice. All right, let's get on to the drums. I'm just kind of gonna go through what I have for each layer. This is a kick. Snare. And then I got this crash that comes in. And that lines up perfectly with those guitars that come in. So it's just like extra emphasis on that phrase. Then I got this hat sample, which I got from Splice. I get all my drum sounds from Splice, just because it's real easy. Everything's on there. And here's how that sounds. And yeah, that just gives it much more of a live feel. And then lastly, I have these hats, which are really simple as well. So one of them's open, and I'm kind of just like constantly hitting on there, and the other one's closed. And then with the live hats, it just really makes it feel real. Let me talk about the drum processing real quick. All right, so on the processing for these drums, it's pretty simple. I've got this UAD compressor. It's a bus compressor. It's pretty good for drums, and it's not hitting it too hard. Aiming to get about I'm aiming to get about -5 decibels of gain reduction. And there we go. That's it right there. And then for me, what really does this drum sound is that I have this parallel saturation going. If you guys know me, I just be spamming this saturation knob everywhere by Softtube. Free plugin, 10 out of 10. I recommend it. I'm just kind of smashing it, and then I got it right here on the send. That's without it, and here's with it. You can really drive it and give it that distortion. It sounds really great. Now the last thing I've got in the instrumental is this guitar lead. And it is super simple. It is literally me playing one note and then doing a bend. So really, to make rock songs, or at least this kind of grungy style of rock, you really don't need advanced playing. You just kind of need to feel it out. And this is what it sounds like. Now on its own, it doesn't sound like much, but here's it with everything. Awesome stuff. Now, right before everything kicks in, I've got a little intro section, which is literally just the guitar and bass. And then I have this drum fill that I found from Splice, which I heard it and I immediately thought that it would sound good. So I just put it in there as is. And this is how it starts. Now, the last thing in this track that I'm going to show you guys are these vocals, and they really bring everything together. What I did was I have this vocal chain with a ton of saturation. It's a ton of tape saturation, which kind of gives it that kind of the Strokes vocal. If you guys have heard the Strokes, Julian Casablancas' vocal is always just like absolutely hammered with distortion, and it gives it a vibe. So I did that here. Obviously, I don't think I've ever heard Nirvana do it, but it does fit this grungy feel. So something I recommend. My chain for this vocal is pretty simple. Let me show you guys how it sounds first. Stoner, cigarette, unemployment, college debt, alcohol, vape, pod, that's it, I should get a job. Super simple. I've got it triple tracked. I've got the lead vocal in the middle, and then I've got two vocals which are the exact same, just different takes, and I've got those panned out all the way left and right, and those are lowered quite a bit in volume. I've got a couple overdubs, and I'll show you those in a sec. Let's start with this lead vocal. Now this thing is the first thing I've got here is just the EQ kind of rolling off some lows, nothing crazy. I've got a de-esser hitting about 9K. Auto tune, very little. I mean, it's kind of it's rolled off quite a bit of humanizing. You're not hearing too much of it. I don't really think you can hear it, but it just helps me with my confidence singing and everything. So I put it on there pretty much every time. And then I've got these CLA vocals. As you guys know, I be spamming the hell out of CLA vocals. It just makes everything sound good. Let's hear how that sounds. Down a cigarette, unemployment, college debt. And then this is the sauce right here. This plugin is a UAD plugin, and it's a tape emulation. And what I do is I just absolutely destroy the input gain, and it's almost all the way up. And then to compensate, I'll lower the output around the same amount, and then you'll end up getting this kind of distorted sound. Down a cigarette, unemployment, college debt. And then lastly, I have a reverb, which is like a super short room reverb. As you can see, it's like decay is 0.2 seconds. And then I have that bust out, and it's just, I'm just increasing it a little bit. And that's how it sounds. Stoner, cigarette, no reverb. Dead, alcohol, vape, pod, that's it, I should get a job. And then take a look at these overdubs I did. The chain is pretty much the same. I just have those accentuated on the parts that are hitting with the guitars and the hitting with the guitars and the crashes at the same time. It just kind of, unemployment, you'll see. Dead, alcohol, vape, pod, that's it, I should get a job. Bang, right, take. All right, and then together on these vocals, I think I just have, literally no difference. No difference. Or I guess no distortion on these ones. Stoner, cigarette, unemployment, college debt. So you got like kind of like a little harmony. It's almost like a lazy harmony. I'm just like barely singing it. Brain rot, TikTok, waking up at 2 o'clock, caffeine, nicotine, and oh, I'm sleeping again. Gen Z loser. I want to show you guys the ending of the song because there's kind of a cool guitar part that I want to break down a little bit. So let's just listen to the outro. All right, that's the ending of the song. Obviously, there's like the same fill at the end and a little crash. But this guitar part, this kind of like solo, is super funny because it sounds super cool. Very Nirvana-esque. But the funny thing is I'm really not doing anything here except just like spamming the guitar. I wish I had video evidence of me recording this because it sounds like I'm doing something intentional. But I'm really just like moving my fingers around like a maniac, not even knowing what I'm playing. I mean, take a listen to how it sounds on its own. I mean, that's ridiculous. It does not sound good on its own. But sometimes my point is that sometimes if you have a cool effect chain on your guitar, like most things can sound good if they're played with like the intention of like I wanted to make a freak out part, so I kind of just went in like, okay, let me just try something. So yeah, I mean, I guess my message is just like try things. You don't need to be super technically skilled to make this kind of stuff. A lot of the times it's just luck and feel and just the powers of music creation that come into play. So yeah, have fun, guys. Have fun. Making good music is all about having fun. My best songs I made when I had fun, so just go for it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, maybe gain some knowledge from it. I know it's not my usual format of making stuff on camera, but I figured I'm going to start breaking down some tracks that I've made in the past, which have some value in them. And yeah, I mean, some of them are requests, and I just happen to have songs that are already done and released that really line up to those requests. So this song is out, by the way. This song is called Gen Z Loser. I'm going to put it in the description, so if you guys want to go listen to that, it'll be there. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a good one. Peace.